Hey, Comp Sci Bay, Bukola, author and inventor of the first computer science interactive doll. Hey, you. Hey,
Hey, hey, hey.
how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so
Good.
much for having me.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us. We are so excited to have you with us,
Yes.
and just so excited about you and everything that you are doing for businesses. You are so amazing, and we just love your energy, love what you have committed your life's work to, much needed. And so we just wanted to have you with us today to share your story, share a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey. We do these founders chats because we know a lot of times our audience sometimes feels like success is not within their reach, or that
Right.
they see people from a distance, they follow people and they're like, oh, that's really nice, but I don't know if that'll ever be me. And so we always like to dispel those myths and let people hear from real everyday people about how they got to where they are, and encourage them and let them know you can do this too if you do the work. And
Right.
so I always say the best way to introduce someone is to let them introduce themselves. So won't you please tell everyone who you are, a little bit about you and what you do.
So, my name is Audria Richmond. I'm a marketing and launch strategist. I work directly with my clients to teach them how to build uncloned brands and launch profitable marketing campaigns. I'm the girl you come to when you have an idea and you want to take it to market and make it profitable. So, yeah, that's me.
Tell us a little bit about you personally, like where you're from, where you rep, all that good stuff. Where'd you go to
So I'm
school?
from I'm from Memphis, Memphis, Tennessee, but I
Mhm.
live in Atlanta. My husband and I, we've been here for almost 5 years.
Okay.
And it's been a really cool journey here. We like it here. We don't plan on going back, but we do go home because that's where we live, that's where our family is. But for the most part, we live here in Atlanta. I'm married. I am a stepmom. And what else? I love the movies.
Okay.
Yes, I
Okay.
love movies. I love TV shows. It's just something about watch, and I'm also not a person that watch TV from a place of boredom. I watch TV from a place of creativity. So when I
Yes.
watch TV, I'm always having like tons of ideas,
Mhm.
business ideas. It's a great way for me to still be creative, but also get a form of entertainment.
So tell us how you got into this arena, this industry of marketing. As one who has kind of tapped into your network and become a part of your group and things like that. I'm just amazed at what you see from different things. And like you said, when you watch TV, you get ideas because you share with us sometimes. And I just think that's so cool. Where do you think this
Yeah.
all came from? How did you get into this industry?
So I got into this industry from having multiple failed businesses, and you notice I said businesses, not ideas, because at
Hmm.
some point, you have an idea, and when it don't get any traction, or if you're not making any money, it's easy to think that, oh, well, maybe my idea is not a good idea. Well, it could be you're not putting it in front of the right people, and you're not allowing the right people to find out about your product or service. So for me, I would start a business. I started off as a professional photographer, and that did really, really well. And then I went into graphic design. And then once I wanted to get my pictures taken, get my pictures published, I decided to self-publish my own magazine, mainly because I didn't want to wait on somebody to be like, hey, we'll feature your stuff. So I decided
Hmm.
to create a magazine. Then my husband and I, we ended up creating a juicing business called Juice Me Baby. But with each business, we would have these amazing ideas, put them out there, but then it would always like start going good and then die down, a slow death.
Hmm.
It'll start
Hmm.
going good, then it'll die down, a slow death. And so what I started to notice was the common denominator was not knowing how to properly market those ideas, not knowing how to expand beyond my zip code, not knowing how to expand beyond my friends and family. And I think a lot of people get stuck in that. I have an idea, let me use social media. Social media is free. And let me just wait
Hmm.
on my friends and family to come and support me. And that doesn't always work. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's pretty
Can
much
you
how
help?
I got into this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Help the folks who might not be clear on exactly what marketing is. I think sometimes people kind of blur the lines between marketing, promotions, branding. Can you give
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a Cliff Notes 101
Yes.
sort of explanation for folks who might not even know if your services or similar services is something that they need?
So, marketing is about I look at marketing totally different. You know, if you ask somebody else, they'll be like, you know, marketing is all about hammering people with your message. And I feel like marketing is a relationship building experience that educates your consumer on whether or not they should do business with you. So basically, whatever you sell, whether you sell hair, your job is not to sell hair. Your job is to educate people on why they need your hair, why they need this particular style of hair, why they need to do business with your particular brand. I like to think of marketing as an educational experience. I'm never like on the internet like, hey, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. I feel like through my interactions with my clients and customers and how I show up from an educational perspective, it allows people to be like, oh, I want that. Even if you sell socks, you know, how can you educate me about your socks? Is your socks going to keep my feet warm? Are these some really dope socks if you have hardwood flooring? It's all about like educating your clients to really get them to a place where they want to raise their hand and say, okay, I need that. So your job is really not to force people, because people always say, how do I make people buy my stuff? You can't make people do anything. Your job is to create an experience, to take people through, and then ultimately making it easy for them to make a buying decision. That's it. That's the whole purpose of marketing.
Y'all got that? I hope y'all taking notes, because this is good stuff for free today. Make sure y'all are getting that. It's so critical. I'm sure you see tons of them, but what are some of the biggest mistakes you see people make?
Oh man,
I know, as it relates to their marketing for their businesses.
I'm like, is this
give me a top three. Give me a top three. Top three.
No, like, okay. One of the biggest things I see that's really bad is a lot of people are copying and pasting other people that they deem more successful than them. So if that person goes and sponsor a particular event, I'm going to go and sponsor that event. Like, everybody is always following up behind each other, trying to one up each other, you know, little by little. And so I think, for one, stop following up behind people, stop trying to do what everybody else is doing. Also, a lot of people don't lean in. They don't trust themselves. They don't take enough risk. That's another thing that I see that's going wrong in the marketplace. Also, as business owners, we have this thought process that we don't need marketing budgets. That marketing budgets are for big corporations. I'm a small business, and because I'm small, I don't necessarily need this big old marketing budget. And I would definitely say that's not true, because that's the primary reason why a lot of small business owners are not growing as fast as they want. They're not willing to put in any money. They get mad at the social media algorithms. They get mad that their hashtags ain't getting no traction. When all they got to do is go on the back end of Facebook and Instagram, spend $5 or $10, and you can instantly start getting in front of new people. Even if you don't want to advertise on this platform, any platform that you want to utilize has a advertising capability. Even when we think about YouTube, Google AdWords, TikTok, I just got approved to start advertising on TikTok. So there's a lot of different, you know, you got Spotify, ad music, where you'll be able to put your ads on Spotify. Like, there's a lot of different channels in which we can market, but I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs choose one platform to double down on, and they do not diversify their marketing, which is pigeonholing them. Like, everybody is like Instagram. They love Instagram. Instagram is bae, this, and a third. But I don't see a lot of people diversifying their marketing channels. And I also don't see a lot of people diversifying their marketing tactics and strategies. They're always using the exact same marketing strategy and tactic. I'm going to post a quote. That's it. That's all I'm posting today. Every day, I'm going to post a quote, a photo of me, a photo of my family, and then I'm going to hit them with my digital product, link in bio. I'm going to post a quote, I'm going to post a photo, and it's just like, bruh, that's so predictable. So that's another thing. Okay, you probably shouldn't have asked me this question.
It's all right.
Like, I needed this moment, as you can see. But
you got to vent. Get it out, sis. Get it out.
It's like everything about what you do is predictable. And if your marketing is predictable, people don't have a reason to check for you. So that's just, you know, those are some of the biggest mistakes that I see.
Oh, yes. All right. So for those who are just joining us, we are chatting with Audria Richmond, founder and CEO of Uncloned Marketing. If you don't have your pen and paper, you need to grab it. Also, if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments. We will try to get to as many as we can towards the end. Got to hang out with us for a little bit, but you are in the right place, so stay here with us. Now, we did not bring Audria, technically, we did not bring her here to talk about marketing, right? That's what you got to pay her for. But I figured I'd sneak that little tip in for y'all. And she does, if you follow her, she does give a lot of free tips, a lot of great information. So you just got to be a part of her network. But we really want to hear about her entrepreneurial journey, because besides being a marketing guru, she's a successful business owner, right? Mm-hmm. So we want to talk about that for people who might also have really dope knowledge and skills and are trying to figure out how they can turn that into a successful and profitable business for themselves, right? Mm-hmm. So you mentioned photography, you mentioned graphic design. You know, how did what you did before this really help prepare you? Because a lot of times people have backgrounds and other things, and they may not be sure how they can then use that to help build their business. How did that help you?
So I have this thing that I teach called, it's new. It's not in my book, but it's some new thing that came after my book. And I call it your individuality toolkit. All of us have educational background, whether it be academic, non-academic. We also have a lot of different experiences. We have different skill sets. There's a lot of different things about us that make us unique. For me, my background was in photography, publishing, graphic design. So even though I don't offer that as a service, that is totally relevant in my current business. Knowing how to publish, knowing how to design, and knowing how to put things together and make them look really good in that capacity. So those particular skill sets, even though I had them back in the day, they were totally relevant to now. And also in my non-entrepreneurial background, I was a flight attendant for almost 4 years. I was also a cashier at Kroger. I was also a sales rep at Best Buy. I also threw cargo at FedEx. So I worked like all of these individual jobs, but a lot of those jobs gave me an extensive background in customer service. So that's how I know how to treat people right. I'm not one of those people who like take your money and then pretend like I don't know you and all of those things. So I feel like just having that background in customer service has allowed me to go through what I'm going through now. As far as like when we talk about you know, how do I get to be ambitious? I feel like nobody in my family forced me to be successful, because nobody in my family was successful, if that makes sense. And so that desire really came from my ex-boyfriend, like my little, what you call your first love from high school. He introduced me to computers. And when he introduced me to computers, that like really changed the game for me personally, because I had I guess you could say a pivot in my life. According to where I'm from, I probably should have multiple kids. I should probably be, you know, living in the ghetto, not doing much with my life. But because he introduced me to computers, even though we're not together, right? Even though because he introduced me to computers, he opened up a whole new world for me, you know, and that's how I was able to learn about the internet and like all of these different things and what can the computer do. I became naturally invested in what the computer could do. I always have looked at the computer as a cash machine, not necessarily a computer. So I'm always asking myself, what can I do with this thing? You know,
make some money.
Right, exactly. It can make websites. You know, it can make ebooks. You can write all different type of articles. You can make content. You can make videos. So for me, I'm always thinking of how many ways can I make money with my computer? Because it blows me that people only use their computer for internet and social media. And I'm like, what a waste.
Right.
That's probably like 2% of my usage on my computer. But yeah. That's pretty much a lot of those things that I use in my business now.
So, you know, y'all know that saying that people come into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime? That was his reason, right? He ain't the one you're supposed to marry, but he had a reason. He had a purpose to introduce you to computers. That is so cool. That is so cool. So how was it for you making the transition, right, to being an employee to an entrepreneur? And because that's one of the biggest questions people ask all the time, you know, how can I do it? I want to do it. I want to quit my 9-to-5. I don't see how it's going to happen. How was that transition for you? And are there any tips you would give to someone who is desirous of that?
I feel like I've always been very creative and independent. And so that means that I've always been a rebel and not need a lot of instructions in life. So the reason that a lot of us get jobs is because, sometimes we don't know how to properly manage ourselves, our ideas, or we don't know how to monetize what we know and our knowledge. So for me, I felt like before I transitioned into entrepreneurship, it was very important for me to understand what I was walking into. So that means learning new things, investing in new courses, following people who were not within my circle and try to figure out, well, what's different? What are they doing differently that I'm not learning at home, right? So that, I guess you could say my first pivot into entrepreneurship was education, because I've always been a person that don't want to like look and sound stupid. So that made me naturally invested in learning and educating myself. So because photography was like my first, you know, I guess you could say entrepreneurial path, I did everything known to man to study photography. The reason I even got into photography is because this guy I knew at the time, I had asked him, would he teach me photography? And bruh straight up told me no. And I was like, you know how it's way worse now. Like people are like way more brutal now. Like, hey, where you get your stuff from printed yesterday at 5? Like, sis, I don't know you. That's my trade secret. I'm not telling you. But anyway, back then I was so entitled to wanting to know how to do photography. And so he didn't tell me. And so whenever somebody tell you no, you naturally, if you really truly passionate about it, you will find another way to get it done. And so for me, I decided to go to Barnes and Nobles. I had bought this book by Scott Kelby. It was called Digital Photography 101 or something. It was the only book in the bookstore where I felt like was easy to understand, easy to comprehend, and learn photography. And so from that point forward, like the whole game changed for me, because now I had the knowledge. I no longer had to lean on somebody telling me or putting me on or whatever the case may be. So I had an opportunity to be able to learn what I wanted to learn, which made it easy for me to pivot into entrepreneurship, because I felt like, okay, I didn't have a lot of knowledge, but I had enough knowledge to confidently make a decision that this is a path that I want to take. And as you acquire more knowledge, you know, I call myself an everyday learner. I'm always learning stuff. Like today I was watching a licensing video. So I'm always learning, right? And so every time you acquire more knowledge and you get smarter and better at what you know, it becomes a lot easier to make decisions. A lot of times, if it's hard for you to make decisions, that means you don't have enough information. You're not confident yet in making that decision. So if it's hard for you to leave your 9 to 5 to go and get, you know, jump into entrepreneurship, you're probably struggling with knowledge, education, information, because when you know how to do something, it's not a hard decision. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to think about tying your shoes. You don't have to think about double tapping on Instagram. You know how to do that. You're confident in that. But when you're talking about changing up your whole lifestyle and asking yourself, how am I going to be able to pay all my bills and my mortgage and take care of my kids and, you know, my household from this, you know, ebook I'm selling, that's a whole nother knowledge base you need to acquire in order to move into that.
Yeah, that's really good, because we see a lot that, especially as Black women, we spend a lot of time and energy on our particular product, right, or service. Like if we make body butter, we know all about the body butter, but we don't put a lot of focus and energy on the other components of turning that into a successful business, right? So learning about running a business, learning about marketing, learning about finances, pricing, and all those different types of things. And I think that that's a really, really good point that you made, right? Like that fear is probably coming from the unknown, right? Like I don't know how to do these things to make sure that I can sustain myself as a full-time entrepreneur. But if we do the work and learning, then we might be a little more comfortable making that leap. That's really, really, really good. Yeah. So I'm sure, like everybody, COVID-19 has had somewhat of an impact on you and on your business, even though it seems like you haven't missed a beat. So tell us how it has been for you since March. How has it impacted you, your business, and what have you had to do differently to keep things going?
I think when COVID first happened, like most people, I went into shock. Am I have to, what's going to happen to my business? What am I going to do? And I think for like 2 weeks, I didn't do nothing because, a lot of people, I think at that time, one of my friend girls had reached out, was like, hey, you want to do a bundle? And I was like, I don't want to do nothing. I just want to figure out like what is going on. And even though I was financially stable, I was thinking about my community, the people I serve, because those are people who were affected by COVID the most, more than me. And so I felt like, okay, you have to be more calculated in your decision, because if you're not calculating your decision, you can seem insensitive to what's going on. So because I didn't know what to say, I said nothing. I literally like unplugged for like 2 weeks. A lot of my content was not promotional or salesy at all. A lot of it was more so like serving, being honest about how I felt, and really get into a place as a leader where I felt more confident to actually start selling again. So I would say the first when it first popped off, I would say I had to get my emotions intact more than my pockets. Like my pockets were straight. But as far as like, have I been affected by, on the financial side? No, mainly because my business has always been digital. So I don't have a brick and mortar location. I don't have a physical business. I wasn't doing a lot of offline events. There weren't a lot of things I was doing offline to warrant a disruption in my business. If anything, it has actually flourished during this time, because there's a lot of people who had offline businesses who now want to know how to do digital. How do I put an event online? How do I make digital products? How do I take what I was doing offline and make a virtual version of it? And so now I'm becoming even more in demand because I've already been doing it. It's like, oh, you already been doing it. Let me learn from you. You're already selling digital products. You're already doing virtual events. Let me learn from you. So for me personally, I haven't been affected. If I'm being honest, I haven't been affected. And sometimes that's hard to say when majority of the people that are affected by it. And it's a hard time for me to be happy, because honestly, this is the best year for me in business, financially, emotionally, spiritually, and success wise. And so when you are like thriving in a pandemic, sometimes it's kind of hard to share your wins, but it's also necessary because other people need hope that it's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. We need that inspiration, right? We need that hope to know that something like this doesn't have to break you, right? And that you can still do well and re-strategize, and that there are lots of people who are doing just that. We've tried as much as we can to encourage folks, during this time, don't give up, don't quit, don't shut down. You might have to re-strategize, you might have to take a break, you might have to learn some other skills like digital and things like that. But it doesn't have to be the end all be all. And I think it's really important that people hear that. So tell people about the book. Tell everybody about what's going on and what's coming up with that.
All right. So I have my new book, Uncloned Marketing. Okay. It comes out on my birthday, which is July 20th. This book is, I believe, this is my fourth book, but I feel like this book is going to amplify everything I've ever compact location. About teaching entrepreneurs how to market, but market differently. It's really about how to change your mindset around how you approach marketing, how to be more creative in how you approach marketing, how to take more risk, how to be more innovative as it relates to marketing. So the book is all about how to launch profitable marketing campaigns, and not just any old campaigns, uncloned marketing campaigns. And so when we talk about being uncloned, it means to challenge the norms, to be the first to do it first, which requires you to take risk and trust yourself. And so this book is really all about giving you permission to do some of those crazy ideas, to walk in that direction, but also have like a blueprint. So like in the back of the book, I give you like 20 things that your marketing campaign needs to include. I also tell you what to track and measure during a marketing campaign. And then I also have like 11 questions to ask yourself to jumpstart your creativity when you are launching a marketing campaign. But for the most part, it's all about marketing. I wish this was a book that I had when I first got started with marketing. When I first got started with marketing, I read other marketing books, but they were all the same. You could literally rip the author off the books and they were all saying the same things. And so to know that my book is going to be a disruption to that thought and really add a new narrative, I'm very excited about it.
Yeah. Well, I've already ordered my copy. I can't wait to get it. If you have not, we'll have you tell them now and again at the end. Tell folks how they can get it, where they can get it, and all that good stuff.
So you can find it on my website at audriarichmond.shop, or you can click the link in my bio on Instagram, and it's the first link at the top.
Okay, good stuff. So again, if you're just joining us, we're chatting with Audria Richmond, founder, CEO of Uncloned Marketing. She is the guru of all things marketing. If you have any questions for her, go ahead and drop them in the comments now, because we're going to try to get to them in just a minute or two. And we are so excited to have you all with us today. Thank you so much for spending your afternoon with us. So Audria, what are your must-haves? Like as an entrepreneur, as a sister in business, what are the things you need to make it through the day, whether it's for your business, for personal? What are your must-haves?
My morning time. My morning time is like my peace time. It's when I come up with the most creative ideas. Is when I feel the most inspired. So for me, I like to be quiet. Even when I'm driving with my husband, well, riding with my husband, because he's like, you don't be driving nowhere. When I be riding with my husband, when I be riding with my husband, we don't listen to the radio a lot. And if we do, it's an audiobook. We don't listen to a lot of crazy music, a lot of crazy things. So I'm very conscious of what I take into my ears and my brain. I'm very conscious of who I communicate with. I'm learning to set stronger boundaries, which, I later learned that, anyway, learning how to create boundaries. But as far as like tangible things, I have never really been a big, I guess you could say, material type of person at all. Mainly because that's just not my value system. I'd rather help somebody get on and be super dope than think about what kind of car I can flex on the gram, and that's just not not me personally. So for me, I don't need a lot of material type of things. And also, I have the support of my husband, which also helps. I don't necessarily have to worry about feeling like I'm in this entrepreneurship thing alone. I recently hired a life coach, so that's super helpful. And I think because I'm entering into a new level, I have to be very conscious of who I establish relationships with. So it's a lot of different things that are happening. But if I had to say what's my must-have, it's my me time, and also being able to share space with my husband.
Good. Any apps or books or tools that help you in getting your work done, staying organized, things like that?
Voxer is an app that I use all the time with my mastermind members. It's like a walkie-talkie app. What else? My Shopify app.
Is that Voxer?
Yep.
Okay.
And then I have my Shopify app on my phone. Kartra is my CRM system I use to run my entire business. What else? Tools that I use?
Kartra?
Yep, Kartra.
Okay.
And my iPad. Honestly, when I first got this big ass iPad, excuse my French, but when I had this big iPad, it's like a jumbo iPad. It's the biggest iPad they have. When I initially bought it, I'm just an Apple girl, period. I love all Apple products. So I was like, let me get this. When it first came out, I was like, this is so stupid. Why did they make this product? But I was like, being a fan, I'm like, well, let me go ahead and get it. So I ended up getting the iPad, and I got the pencil. Now I use it for note-taking, mapping out funnels, researching, because I recently purchased a little keyboard that go with it. Now it's like one of my go-to devices, even though I talk trash about getting it. But now that I have it, I freaking love it. Yeah.
Cool. That's good stuff. So we do have a couple of questions coming up. Let's see here. Favorite designs asks, do you recommend using Facebook ads?
Yes, hands down, 1000%. I do have 2 videos on my IGTV where I go into really what you want to master is retargeting. If I had to teach you a skill set in advertising, because one thing is about, it's one thing to just start pubbing ads, but it's one thing to actually double down on retargeting. So I highly recommend you check. It's 2 videos I have on my IGTV, which is what is a Facebook pixel? And now that I have it, now what? Those particular videos are great jumpstart videos to kind of get you going, at least if you're going to start spending money on advertising.
Do you, and I've just heard this from others, so I just want to hear your opinion on it, in terms of not just clicking that boost button and running an ad that way?
I feel like marketing is a dynamic test every single day. You never know what's going to be hot and dope. Some of the stuff I posted I thought was going to be let me post it. It be popping. Folks be sharing it, go viral. People be like, look, girl, tagging their friends. And so you never know what's going to pop off. That's why you have to always be trying and innovating and doing new things and not being stuck on one thing, one way of doing something. If you've been focused on something for more than, I don't know, let's just say 30, 60 days and you ain't getting no traction, sis, it's probably time to try something new. So, yeah.
Cool. Nikki Jones Events, will you be opening up more slots for a 45-minute one-on-one?
So it's funny y'all ask because it's been sold out for a minute. My main focus right now is my book launch, so it will be opening back up probably late August or in August sometime. But it's going to be very limited when it do open up.
Okay. Sharice Johnson Moore says, how much money do you recommend on ads?
As much as you can put in and get an ROI. I think if you're talking about, it's not necessarily about how much should I spend. It's more so about, well, how much do I need to test to become profitable? So you got to go into, I will say this, you're going to lose some money. Just if you have a low risk tolerance, then you probably shouldn't do ads. If you're one of those people who spend $5 and if you don't get a sale, you ready to go jump, don't do this, because advertising is all about putting something in, and you might run 5 different ad sets and only one brings back that ROI. It's all about a continuous test. That's why I say you got to have some type of marketing budget. So I would say starting off, if you like super duper 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 new, try $10 a day. Just $10 a day. Starters, right? But I mean, I've spent probably close to $50,000 on ads since 2013. And that's actually not a lot. I was talking to a Booth Ofana. He also has a really dope class on advertising. And TC Atkinson. Both of them are like, they spend way more money than me. And that's because their strategy is different than mine. I have a combination of advertising and original and organic content. And they have they do have content model, but they don't post a lot of content. They spend more money on ads because they have a more freedom-based lifestyle. So it really just depends on you, your lifestyle. There's too many considerations. But if we're talking about just getting started, I would definitely say, $10 a day, and then just acquire different knowledge. But definitely take somebody's course so you can know what you're doing, so you won't go in blindsided just wasting money.
Yeah, that's good. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, let's see if we have any other questions. People want this book. I don't know if I'm pronouncing
We're
this right.
Shipping today. Like, I sent out a text message. I literally just got the hardcovers yesterday. That was the only thing we was waiting on. So now that they are in, we're about to start shipping.
Okay, good. So Daparazas, sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. She was asking, can she get her book sooner? Okay, somebody asked for the name about the management system. It was Kartra, right? Okay. Good Hair, Good Body asks, which text messaging services do you recommend?
There's 2. So if you have Shopify, I highly recommend you get Postscript. 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 Freaking amazing. It integrates with the Shopify API, and it can track down every single text message you're saying down to the penny, how many sales you make. So if you have Shopify, I highly recommend that. If you don't have Shopify, you can still probably look at it. It probably does work without it, but I just noticed that it worked with Shopify. So I was like, they talk to each other. It's on and popping, because I love a good tracking. But if you don't have that, then the alternative would be SendHub. That's what I use. It's called SEND Hub, HUB.
All right, y'all getting all of this? Free information. And that, again, that's why we do this, because sometimes we think that this type of information is, intangible, unreachable, but we want you to see and know that there are people right here just like you that have done good work and are willing to share some tips and tricks with you. What do you wish you had known? What do you wish you had known when you first started as an entrepreneur that you know now that you would advise someone else on?
It's going to sound cliche, y'all, but you got to learn marketing. Okay? I see so many great ideas bite the dust because you don't know how to properly inform and educate people on what it is that you have. I truly believe that when you master marketing, you will never be broke a day in your life. So I feel like right at the time you acquire a skill set, you should also be acquiring knowledge around how to properly market it. You should be creating your marketing plan at the same time you coming up with your cute branding, your cute website, all of that stuff should, like your marketing, they all talk to each other, okay? Your logo can't be more important than your marketing. They are equals. They go together. They boyfriend and girlfriend. They husband and wife. You get it? Okay, cool.
Yes. Y'all got that? Oh God, let's see. How do you feel about Squarespace?
And if I'm just answering, do I like Squarespace? It depends on your business and your particular business model. I always recommend that you have your plan first, buy your tool second. I see a lot of people buying tools first and try to force their plan into that tool. So the best thing to do is think about, okay, how do I functionally want to run my business? And now that I know how I want to run my business, which software and platforms would be perfect to execute my plan?
Good, good, good. Now that we've ordered your book, what other books would you recommend?
My other books.
There you go. Cha-ching. Plug yourself, boo. Plug yourself.
I mean, I have Are You Ready for the Yes? If you haven't purchased that one, that's a great book that you could be reading now, leading up to Uncloned Marketing. And if you want to know, like, man, how do Audrey become so confident? Grab Uncloned Life. I will say this: Uncloned Life got 17 cuss words. Okay, so if you like anti-cuss word, then don't go get it. But if you can get beyond that, it's lit. Okay,
Right,
so, yeah.
right. That is too funny. So who are your go-tos? What other sisters or brothers in business do you follow or watch or, get inspiration from, anything like that? I know you're uncloned, so we ain't trying to be them, but just that you draw from.
I'm not easily inspired.
Okay.
From what I see in the marketplace currently.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of somebody who's just doing something just super revolutionary. I do like the beauty bakery, the cosmetic line. I love their marketing.
I just learned that they were Black owned too.
Yeah, I love their marketing. I love how they do their business. Who else? When I think about, I want to answer it a different way.
Of course, go ahead.
I don't necessarily want to say a particular brand or a particular person, but I would like to say what kind of characteristics attracts me to a brand.
Good.
I'd rather say that than say this company or that person or whatever, right? So I would say a brand that's always innovative, a brand that's always doing something really creative and unique with their marketing, a very knowledgeable CEO. I'm very attracted to CEOs who are extremely smart. Especially if they have dope brands. I'm very intrigued by people who always, again, challenge the norms. Like, for instance, a brand that I absolutely love is Johnny Cupcakes. It is not a cupcake line. I mean, it's not a cupcake brand. It's a t-shirt brand. But they have this persona and identity of a bakery. So I'm always looking for people who are challenging the norms, being the first to do it first. And there's not a lot of people who are doing it. And that's really why I have the book, because I'm ready for people to shake some stuff up, to unlearn some things so they can do some new things. So that would be my response to your answer.
Okay, good, good. Love it, love it. So this is last call for questions. If y'all have questions, go ahead and drop them now. I had a question for you, Audria, that just left me. What are the specific services that you offer? So if someone is wondering, can I work with Audria? What is it exactly that she does? Should I reach out to her? What exactly would they come to you for?
You would come to me at ideation stage. So if you have an idea in your brain right now for a new product or new service, or you want to add to your existing brand, come to me at the ideation stage, right? Okay. Now, when you done bought the website and got the logo, come to me at the ideation stage. When you come to me at the ideation stage, we can do coaching and consulting. So I can help you come up with a marketing plan and strategy. So I also am about to start offering marketing plan development services. So you'll be able to come to me with your idea and I'll be able to develop marketing plans. I will also start to sell marketing plans. I have a lot of dope ideas for a lot of brands that I know, and I'm gonna start pitching people these different dope ideas and marketing campaigns. I also am about to start a marketing certification program where I teach people my approach to marketing. So people will be able to come to me and work with certified uncloned marketing pros. And so there's two ways you can get certified: is through certification or facilitation, depending on how deep you want to get with marketing. I'm also about to launch a new community mentorship for entrepreneurs who just want to learn from me, pick my brain on a daily basis, stay close to me. It's going to be called Uncloned Tribe. and it launches on my birthday, which is the same day the book comes out. And it's going to be the cheapest you're going to ever see it. So if you're interested, make sure you stay connected, get on our email list, so you'll be the first one to know about it. But that community is going to be called Uncloned Tribe. It's July 20th.
Good, good, good.
Oh, and I have a mastermind. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a mastermind where I coach executive women and men on how to build uncloned brands and launch profitable marketing campaigns.
All right. Y'all got that. So if you fit in one of those categories, be sure to reach out. We'll have her share her contact info again in just a second. Where else would you recommend learning marketing other than your books? Let's say in addition to your books, because we're going to assume they get in there.
I would say stop being a consumer of so many products and services and actually start to study the marketing. The best type of marketing to study is marketing that's happening right in your face. So if you clicked on an ad in the past 7 days and purchased a product, ask yourself why. If you are, if you went to the store and you purchased a particular brand, why? When there was so many other brands. So the best way to really begin to understand marketing is to digest and dissect how you approach marketing and how you engage with marketing as a consumer.
Good. Okay. There was a question about how did you get your own gifts on IG? And then someone else responded that you have something on your website with the replay.
So I have a course called Uncloned Gifts and Stickers, where I teach you how to make your own customized gifts and stickers to be approved on all platforms. And I also teach you how to design and make them. So there's a beginner's track and advanced track. Okay.
Good. And we just have a good comment here from Good Hair, Good Body. Your IG live stream templates are versatile. They improve my ability to present information. Well worth the investment. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. She's talking about the IG live template. So I got some really dope templates I made where people can put like promos, and it could be video and camera. They super dope. They're like super fire.
And that's on your website as well.
Yes, my online shop.
All right. So let's share all the contact information again with everyone, for the shop, for you, for what you have coming up, for how they can get the book, and make sure that folks know how to get all this good stuff.
Okay, so 2 things. Click the link in my bio and do 2 things. Number 1, subscribe to our mobile club. So whenever I have a major update, product release, or anything, I always send out a text message. The second thing, get the book, pre-order the book by clicking the link in my bio. So all the ways how to work with me, all the quizzes and assessments, everything you need to know that's current and relevant right now is a link to it in my bio. So if you click the link in my bio on Instagram, there's so many opportunities for you to learn and engage with my brand.
All right. Y'all got it. And that is at Audria Richmond. We'll put it in the comments again for you. There it is right there. Shout out to Tev Media, who does our social media marketing, for keeping everyone informed there.
And it's AudriaRichmond.shop. Well, you can go to .com, but if you want some of the products that we talked about or want to pre-order the book, it's .shop.
Okay, we will update that as well. Well, thank you so much, Audria. We have loved this conversation. For those, someone also asked if we were saving this. So, of course, it'll be on our IG. I think they changed it again now, so it goes back to the stories for 24 hours. Yeah, last week it did. I'm assuming it'll be this week, but last week it did on my last.
I need to update because mine keeps saying save to IG.
Yeah, I don't know why they changed that in the first place. But anyway, it will also be on our YouTube channel. Okay. Yeah, they just be doing stuff. Nobody asked them to do that. I felt like if they were going to do it, it should have been both. It shouldn't have been either or. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to put it on IGTV, still leave it on the story.
I think saving it to IGTV is cool, but I think the reason people didn't like it was because the comments were gone. So as soon as you posted it to IGTV, all of this dialogue and conversation is gone.
Right.
So if they can keep the dialogue, that would be dope. If they keep the dialogue in, let you put it on IGTV.
And then also people look forward to that initial replay. Just, on your stories. If I missed it, maybe I was at, in a meeting, but I know I can go right back and watch it, and see the comments and all that stuff. And they just weren't used to going to IGTV for it. So,
and you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to get more people to use IGTV, but I think that was a forced way of doing it. Because now everybody who didn't know about it, like, what? I gotta look at another app, because a lot of people aren't using IGTV or not even aware that it exists.
Exactly. And so I don't know. We'll see what happens today. Also, I'm using a different device. I'm using my tablet as opposed to before when I used my phone. So we'll see. But either way, you will still be able to get this information because we do add them to our YouTube channel. It'll be there in the next couple of days or so. So be sure to check there for that. You can get the link to our YouTube channel in our bio, and all of our website and everything there as well. So thank you so much, Audria. This has been so much fun. We have been trying to get Audria at one of our expos for the longest.
COVID messed it up.
COVID messed it up because she was scheduled to be with us on June 6th in Atlanta. And now the new date doesn't quite work, but right? It doesn't, right? You told me that, right?
Huh?
The new date, you're not available, right? I think you told me that.
I'm not available on a new date.
Yeah. See, COVID just messing up everything, but but this is good. We at least got this in the meantime, and we will still definitely stay connected, continuing to support her and sharing all the good stuff that she's doing. So please, please, please be sure to follow her if you don't already, subscribe and all that good stuff. And thank you, Audria.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
No problem. We're excited to enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye.